and we are recording. Today is August 5th. Welcome to my solutions, my VIP solutions hour. We have so much to talk about. It's absolutely unbelievable. I'm going to show you, oh my God, I'm going to show you my notes, and I'm not kidding, and I'm not joking. I mean, it's like, what the hell? I don't even have enough time to tell you guys about the month of August, and but I'm really going to try. So I think I can see questions in the little chat box. You're able to write a question. I'm pretty sure, but it's hard for me to do everything, and I want to move fast, and I've got to tell you about all of this that's going on because it's just sort of unbelievable. So let me pull my screen up here for you, and I want you to see, hold on, I got to make me smaller. I don't know why I'm huge, but hold on. Okay, I'm going to make me smaller, and I'm going to pull the chart up here because I really want you to see it. I know some of you are just on the phone, so I'll try to talk about these transits too so you can understand. But so here's the chart, okay, for today, and I'm going to advance this chart. So as we talk about it, I'm going to scroll for each day. So this is today, and I want to ask you if you guys felt on the 2nd of August, if you felt anything. So that was 3 days ago. So today is Saturday. Let's just take a look at this. Let me get my calendar out so I can talk about these dates. So Wednesday. So on Wednesday, what was so interesting is right here, here's the sun, here's Mars right next to it. Virgo is rising right now. But this planet right here is Uranus, and Uranus is the lightning bolt. Uranus is basically, it's kind of the shock and awe planet, if you will. And so what it does is it brings you incredible aha moments, and it brings you sudden insight. So you get clarity, and you get an opening, and you get a moment of revelation, if you will. So whatever bound you or had you chained kind of is released. You're released from the shackles. And that happened, and it was retrograde for so long. I don't know exactly how long, but months upon months. It just became direct, that planet Uranus. So it's like we sprang forward, and we sprang forward into the great awakening planet. Basically, the sleeping giant, if you will, woke up on the 2nd. Now, that is such an enormous planet that you might not get that moment of truth or that feeling that you're back involved high speed in your life until a week later or so. So sometimes it takes a while to kick in, and sometimes it's exactly on that day. But if you have any planets at 28 degrees Aries, so that's the second to last day of Aries, which would be around the 18th or the 19th of April, or Libra, so 28 degrees Libra as well. So what that is that area of your life, okay? Because see, this is in Aries, 28 degrees Aries. If you have any planets that sit on that fault line, that's where the sudden change is going to occur. That is where you're going to be completely shocked or unexpected. So if you were born, because there's also something called an orb, so we take 10 degrees prior and 10 degrees after. So if you were born between April 8th and April 28th, or October 8th and October 28th, this is going to be quite shocking to you. You're going to receive shocking or surprising news. It's just going to kind of be mind-boggling or blow your mind or awakening or an aha or a wow factor. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean bad or good. It just means it's going to be like kind of a nice, you know, the ice bucket challenge. Wow, you know, a wow moment. But it's there for a big cause and a big reason. It's not just a wow like a roller coaster ride. It's there to wake you up to a new way of thinking, a new perception, because Uranus wants to get rid of old, outdated systems and structures that no longer work, and it wants to implement new concepts and new ideas and progressive thinking, healthier thinking. It's usually to advance the soul, this planet. But it hurts. I mean, it's sort of like if you completely transformed an aspect of your life in a more healthy way. Sometimes it's painful to do that. Sometimes it's painful to give up old habits. But this is where your life wants a reboot. So I have a girlfriend, I think she's supposed to be on the call today, but she'll watch this later, who's born on April 18th. That's sitting on her soul. So that is a reboot for the soul. If you're a Libra and your sun is in opposition to this, that's also a reboot to the soul, but it's really uncomfortable because it's in opposition. It's kind of maybe a lesson or an awakening that you don't really want, or one that's a little bit uncomfortable. So that happened on the 2nd, and that is going to last because Uranus is going forward. I don't even know when it retrogrades again. It's way down the road, but that's going to last for a very long time. Now on the 4th, which was yesterday, we have Jupiter in Libra. Let me show it to you right here. Jupiter in Libra. Okay, and look at this. It squares Pluto right here. So Jupiter in Libra squaring Pluto in Capricorn. You guys are getting good at reading charts now that we're doing this every month. This is the last square, the last exact square in the series of 3. We've had 3 of these exact. This is the last one. So this one is really, really important. And I'm going to come back on this screen in a bigger way for you. Hold on. This is a really important transit because it's going to be sort of, if you will, a final outcome. Let me do something here real quick. What I mean by this is whatever you've been working really, really hard on, it wants to come into true culmination. And this is, you know, Pluto teaches you what you expect to get, you will get. And it's kind of a no frills, if you will. It's a deeply transformative planet. And when it's in that square aspect with Jupiter, it's and it's been doing this dance for a year. So this is something that you've been working on for over a year. You know, what has your what has your mission in life been for this year? What have you been devoting yourself to? Because with really hard work, it wants to transform your life. And it's something that you've probably been in alignment around your higher self or a higher calling. So if you've been, say, on a diet where you've wanted to really transform weight loss in your life and you've been struggling, this is sort of like your last chance to really get it right. And let me just see something here. Gosh, my throat, I can't believe this. I hope I can get through a whole hour. Hang on one second. I'm going to open something here. And of course, it doesn't want to open because we're in the shadow aspect of Mercury in retrograde, right? So yeah, of course it doesn't want to participate with me. Here we go. So what I was saying is on Jupiter, when you're working with Jupiter, this is beliefs that want to be transformed. And a year ago, your life may have gone under a complete transformation. This aspect can create deep crisis where you have to turn to your faith. Now, as I said, this transit started about a year ago and it went direct into this square 3 times. So Jupiter is about your belief system and it's about your higher self. So this is something in your life that wants to transform. That's not little, that requires faith. It requires faith in something bigger than you. So this transit actually forces you into asking the big, deep, uncomfortable questions about your life. What is the most important thing to you in life? That's what Jupiter and Pluto together want to do. They want to ask you, what do you really feel about other people? What do you feel about race? What do you feel about what's going on in our society with, say, I don't know, cops? What do you say about, what do you feel about if you want to march in the streets or not? What do you say about politics, about big government? What do you say about your connection to spirit? What do you say about sexual monogamy in your life and in life itself? What do you really believe in around abortion or sex before marriage or polyamorous lifestyle or sexual monogamy in your life or not? So race, religion, sexual orientation, gender orientation, you know, the big questions are being asked of you. Now, in your personal life, you're going to bump up against these as well. So this transit is going to blatantly show us what we're willing to compromise in our life and what we're not. And Pluto's going to draw the line in the sand and say, absolutely not, I'm not going there, it's not good enough for me. And after this transit, you might come to see that some of your old beliefs have transformed and they're no longer important to you. You may have been raised Catholic and then have come to the realization that that religion doesn't serve me any longer. It could be something as dramatic as that. So it could be a time when you come out of the closet with your sexual orientation. So this is a big, big transit. It's the last square, so it's the time to really step into your beliefs and live them. Now I have to add that Jupiter square Pluto is also about money and success and abundance. So during this transit, you're really going to have an opportunity to push to the forefront and succeed. And that's why, I don't know about you, but everybody I know, it seems, is super ambitious right now. I don't know too many people just super lazy living on a beach. The people I know are just cuckoo crazy on the crazy train, runaway train, trying to get everything done. And that's this transit. It's a very, very, very ambitious, busy, everyone is just working really hard in their goals and their ambitions, and it's a tense time. And it's that last chance for that big project to just take off. And, you know, this is what I want to say. Don't put off implementing your wildest, biggest financial dreams and doing whatever it takes to get them into reality, because this transit is so strong, it's got power in it. So if you have a wildly exciting investment that you want to make, or a financial dream on how you want to make some money, this is a great time to step into it. And if you are a Libra or a Capricorn in the middle of the sign, so that is actually born around the 10th of the month, between, well, the 7th and the 10th, this transit's going to really, really, really affect your life. At least it wants to. So let's move on to August 7th. I'm sorry I'm going a little bit slow. There's so much to say. So we have a full moon, and it's a lunar eclipse at 15 degrees Aquarius. So if you are an Aquarian, or if you have an Aquarius moon, or if you are a Leo, or if you even have a Leo moon, this is pretty big moon for you. So, but don't be mistaken. This is on the 7th, so this is in 2 days. This is not the total solar eclipse that's going to occur on the 21st. This is a lunar eclipse, and this, so don't be mistaken by it. It's different. This is a full moon, okay? This total solar eclipse is a new moon. The full moon wants to say goodbye to something. And when it's in Aquarius and Leo, it's a little bit about who you really are inside and what your true self-expression is versus who you think you should be in the community. And the sun in Leo is love. It's pure, radiant love in its highest expression. And it represents joy and a happy focus on ourselves and on how we want to express ourselves. The full moon eclipse in Aquarius, if you will, it exposes this conflict between fitting inside the group, if you will, and being a part of the community, and what we really want and what works for us with our own desires. So now we're going to have to make a decision about what's really important to us, because something else is happening on this day, and that is the North Node in Leo. Now, that's the nodal axis is sort of a divine point, if you will. It's a divine access. I sort of see it as the portal to the universal collective divine message that we're supposed to learn right now. So the North Node is where we're headed and the lessons that we need to learn. So the North Node is on, let's see, the North Node in Leo is on the sun. And so when that happens, and it only happens like once a year, one day out of the year, it adds this destiny to this day. And so there is this divine message on this particular full moon in 2 days, on the 7th, to love and love big. Pour joy and happiness and love into the world, because that is the collective healing agent. Now watch, we'll need it. We'll need to remember that lesson. There will be a reason why you're supposed to know that on that day of that full moon, you need to love more. So I don't know exactly what's going to happen, but I will also tell you that I have a feeling that you're going to have to leave some friendships or some groups or somebody in your community behind. So there's going to be a community or a group of people that no longer help you with your self-expression and your fulfillment, your personal mission in life. You might realize that a friendship really is dragging you down, or a community is actually dragging you down. And if you're a fixed sign, a Taurus, a Leo, a Scorpio, or an Aquarius, born around the 7th of the month, you will really see this intensely in your life. So I want to pull it up for you because I want you to see. So here is my chart, and we're going to go right here. Hold on. Let me go right here. So here is the moon in Aquarius, right? And it's in opposition to, oh, you can't see, sorry. There you go. Here's the moon in Aquarius, and it's the opposition to the sun, right? And here's the North Node. That's our destiny line right there. This is our destiny axis. This is what we're supposed to leave behind. Funny that it's on the full moon, right? Funny. What are we here to leave behind? And full moons are about leaving something behind. So I guarantee you there is going to be a destined goodbye in your life around this time. Now, it might be in the collective. So it might be, I don't know, it could have been something like when David Bowie left, and David Bowie was your favorite singer, and he was your icon, and he was a piece of your identity, or Prince. It could be something big like that too. But it will affect you deeply. Now, usually this is something a little bit more personal in your life, so that's why I mean, it's not just if you didn't think about David Bowie, it's if David Bowie really meant something to you. But see this right here? That is the North Node, and it's wide, but it's right here on the sun. And the sun is creeping up on it, and when it gets exact onto that nodal axis, that's also a really huge day. But this is a time, this full moon is going to be a time to say goodbye to some friendships. So let's go forward. I mean, oh my God, can you believe this? I have like 2 full pages on the full moon. Okay, here is the sweet, sweet day for you, and it's the day before Mercury goes in retrograde. So that does mean that you are still going to feel a little bit of the retrograde, because you're feeling it right now. We're in the shadow of the retrograde. So it's like this looming energy that's coming up. But on the 11th of August, it is just such a sweet, sweet day. It is just melt into this day. So let's turn our little clock forward. I like showing it to you because I want you to learn. But let's look at this. So Venus is in Cancer right here at 12 degrees, okay? 12 degrees Cancer, Venus at the tippy top of the chart. And what we want to go look at is right here, Neptune at 13 degrees. It's pretty tight because this is 12 degrees, 50 seconds, and this is 13 degrees, 30 seconds. So this is really, really tight. This is like when you were a little girl and you got hurt, or a little child, a little boy, and you got hurt, and your mom gave you a hug and a kiss and melted the pain away. Or if that wasn't your reality, this is when you leaned into, say, the sweetest person in your life and all your fears melted. For me, it was probably my mom or my grandparents. You know, a kind of love that is just so sweet, where just the hug melts the pain. And I hope, I pray that you have somebody in your life, or have had somebody in your life who was that person to you. And if not, maybe it's your bubble bath, or maybe it's your stuffed animal as a little kid, or your blanket. But it's this warmth and security in your life that just melts all your troubles away. That's what this day brings you. So this is sort of an escapist transit too. So I don't know, for me, it might be a bubble bath, champagne, chocolate, candlelight, beautiful music. It might be absolutely gorgeous chants or drumming. This is a day, you know, Calgon, take me away. You know, both Venus and Neptune are in perfect harmony. And what is so beautiful about this is they're both in water signs, and Cancer and Pisces are simpatico. So there's this sweet sense of oneness to all. There's this sweet sense of collective, like-minded souls, like we're all human when we get down to it, discarding our differences. This is a day to really spoil yourself. This is a day to lean into you. And this is a day when the sun just basks on you. The water lulls you to sleep. Remember the sweetest times in your life and recreate whatever that sweetness feels like on that day, and quite possibly be that for somebody else. So this is a good time to spend at home with close loved ones in a quiet place. And if you are a Cancer or a Scorpio or a Pisces, you're going to just probably benefit the most from this transit and love it. Now, a fire sign like me really needs a transit like this, although I might not quite know exactly what to do with it. Like my water sign friends, I might even need it more than they need it. So I'm not saying that you won't benefit from it if you're not a water sign, but water signs know how to do this kind of energy really well. So mark your calendars for August 12th. And right here, you can see, so we've got right here, Mercury is going to go into retrograde. I guess I got to make it a couple hours later, but it will. See, I'm going by hours now, but just trust me, by the evening, it will be in retrograde. So I'm going to come back to you right here and take my screen off because that isn't that important of a transit to see. But you guys know, we've been doing this long enough now. You know what Mercury in retrograde is. I don't need to belabor the point, but I do want to say a couple things about this Mercury in retrograde because it is a little bit different. First of all, it's longer. It's 23 days long. It's a little bit longer. It's usually not quite that long. It's usually 21 days or, but it's significant because it coincides with the eclipse season. And it's interesting because Mercury is going to turn direct on September 4th, okay? And when it turns direct, it's going to turn direct at the degree 28 degrees Leo, which is the exact eclipse degree that's going to take place on August 21st. So that means, what that means in real terms, is something about the solar eclipse in your chart will come to light around September 4th. So the solar eclipse is going to happen on the 21st, but it's really going to come into light around what it means and the impact of it around the 4th. Just think if you live in the States, Labor Day weekend. So the 4th can be a really big deal for you, because it's like when you could get real clarity on what the meaning inside the eclipse energy had for you. So the other thing I want to say is that Mercury's in high functioning Virgo. You like my big iced coffee? I needed this to be awake for all this. So when Mercury's in Virgo, it's super high functioning. If you've ever met anybody who has Mercury, their mind and their communication planet in the sign of Virgo, these are phenomenal communicators, phenomenal thinkers. And it loves being in the details, and it loves, loves, loves Virgo, but it does not love being in retrograde. And so it's in crisis a little bit, because it's like doing details backwards. It's like being foggy on the details. And so it's kind of like you're on a balance beam, but you lose your balance. So be careful around this time and really read the details. And you know all the Mercury in retrograde stuff. You know all about it. And ironically, I have not one, not two, but 3 of my dear, dear, dear clients having surgeries on this like eclipse time, eclipse date. Mercury's in retrograde during the eclipse. And I've had to tell them all, I don't like it. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't choose it for myself. But I am flying on a plane, and I am living my life, and there are certain things that I will do that I feel, you know, might be a little bit risky, but we have to live life too, right? And so I don't want to scare anybody, but if I was to have a surgery, oh my gosh, I would arrive early. I would be very calm. I would make sure I had everything detailed. I would really connect with my doctor. I would just put all the pieces into play, and I would bring my energy way down, because Mercury in Virgo is quite chaotic, and it's high anxiety. You put it in retrograde, and then it's foggy. So that time is, at that time is when we can have odd communication. Things can go sideways. We can mix up right from left. You know, I've heard people go in for hip surgery for their left hip, and they get it done on their right hip. You know, I would put in Sharpie marker, operate on this leg. So I'm just saying, I would do my due diligence and work harder. Now, I want to talk just really quickly about this eclipse, and then we're going to talk more about it. But the eclipse is like a karmic reset for your soul. It's like your soul's clock is resetting. So whatever has kept you stuck in the past will be purged. That's not even a strong enough word. There's an opportunity for it to be taken from you. And if you don't know what it is, it will most likely be awakened in you. And I just want to say that. We're going to go back to that. But, you know, when Mercury's in retrograde, you're going to have technology troubles and communication challenges and computer problems, and check the air in your tire, and don't text and drive, and blah, blah, right? You get it. I don't want to, like, frighten you to death about it, but I do want you to, like, be alert. So on August 13th, we have a good payout day for our hard work. Hallelujah. We need one. The sun is in Leo, and it is in perfect aspect with Saturn in Sagittarius. And by the way, when the hell is Saturn getting out of Sagittarius? Let's just put this out there right now. I am so freaking sick of it in Sag. It's like, get out of my sign. Go to Capricorn, where you feel comfortable. It's not comfortable in Sagittarius, and I can't stand it, and 2 thumbs down. So it's soon. It's probably around, I think, Thanksgiving, but it's just annoying me in my sign, because I don't need to, I don't want it there any longer. It's awful. It's crossed over my sun and then come back over my sun and then crossed over my sun and then has come back over my sun and crossed over my sun. It's like, how many of those do I need? And that only happens once every 28 and a half years. So it's been a long time. So the sun is in perfect aspect to Saturn and Sagittarius. And so your determination and your hard work kind of gel. And so you're not working in vain. But it's like every little step you get closer and closer to your goals. And this is a really beneficial aspect for everybody. But if you were born on August 13th or 14th, or if you have your ascendant in later Leo around 21 degrees, you're going to really feel this. And you're going to feel like there's an ascension in your work. You're going to feel like there's a promotion, more responsibility, a step up. Maybe a pay increase for your hard work, maybe a newfound respect. And now this aspect does affect everyone, and it will truly give you a chance to create something on a very strong and solid foundation. Whatever you build now has an opportunity to really last forever. So it is a good Saturn aspect. Now on the 15th, Venus is in Cancer. Venus is in Cancer and it's opposing Pluto in Capricorn. And this is a really sexy transit. So I put it in here because it's like, God, give me a couple good days, right? Like we got that one sweet day and now we've got this sexy day. So this is a time that is just, it is so magnetic and mysterious and passionate. And it's a time to create desire and take it to the next level. Now you might think the next level is just, you know, sex, and it could be that, but what it really is authenticity. What it really is depth, and it's emotional and physical magnetic depth, and it's about really embracing the authentic vulnerability and sexual intimacy inside your relationships. So that's August 15th. On the 16th and the 17th, Venus is square. And well, this is a giant aspect. I might skip this a little bit, but I just want to tell you, I'll just tell you, on the 16th and 17th, there is this magnanimous, enormous opportunity for you adding more purpose and value in your life with enthusiasm and courage and optimism. And it has something to do with what you value and what you believe in and what you enjoy doing. This is going to be on the 16th and 17th. You're going to be asked to take a stance for something, or you'll see in the world collectively that we will want to take a stance for something that we believe in and that we love. So it's a pretty powerful and impactful day. And the reason why is because this is the day that the sun sits on that north node. So this is the higher calling day. So on the 16th and 17th, it's a destiny day. The sun and that north node, remember, our collective place where we're going, the divine place where we're headed, sit together. And Jupiter is in the mix and Venus is in the mix. So this is a day to ask yourself, what the hell do you believe in and what do you want to do about it? Because it is a destiny day and it is for all people. Now, if you're a Leo, you're really going to feel personal about this. But enjoy the process of shouting out or developing or growing or nurturing or sharing or teaching, whatever it is you believe in. It's a collective fate line. So whatever happens in the world on that day, that is a destined day. And this, again, it only takes place once a year. And this is a day for you to really ask, what's my purpose? What's my life path? Who do I want to be in the world? And then do whatever it takes to be that person. What energy do you want to contribute to the world? And it's encouraging you to contribute some form of love, joy, enthusiasm, some Leo-like energy that's really healing. So you're going to really start to feel a change in your life well up around the 20th of August, because the sun is trining, it's an aspect to Uranus in Aries. Remember, I opened up this whole conversation with Uranus is going direct. Well, Uranus in Aries is in this happy, if you will, trine, this happy, harmonious aspect to the sun. And this is happening just the day before the eclipse. So Uranus is that shocking, that awe-inspiring, that surprising planet, right? And it's dialed into the sun the day before we get the biggest shock of the year with the eclipse. So this is on the 20th. Shocking surprise. Uranus wants you to break free from your bondage. It wants you to be able to express yourself authentically and get out of the ego trappings. You know, what does your ego say you should be? Should you be skinny? Should you be married? Should you be rich? Should you be out of debt? You know, how are you not good enough? Uranus wants to say, you know, screw that, have a revolution and progress their lives to an enlightened and an awakened place. And so life wants to bring you this awakening. And so you're going to feel sort of the rumble on the 20th, which is going to be interesting, because that rumble is going to be begging you to change something. Change, 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 change. And a lot of people, especially fixed signs and stubborn signs, they don't like changes, so they don't listen to those messages. Well, then guess what happens? The change comes and they're brittle. So be flexible. Look for the signs. Look for the symbols. Look for the messages. Look for what wants to reveal itself to you. You know, where does your life want to awaken? What new knowledge wants to come to you? I've had an enormous, enormous awakening in my life, but it took just recently around this eclipse, but it took four divine interventions, if you will, to get me to wake up to it, because I didn't want to do this change. And so I'm one of those stubborn signs where I didn't take the message on the first gentle hit. So I kind of had to be hit over the head with a frying pan, and I was, and I'm embracing the change, and it's really been positive, and it's changed my life. But on the 21st is the total solar eclipse in Leo. It's the biggest astrological event of the year, and it takes place at 28 degrees Leo. There's only 30 degrees per sign, so this is the second to last day of Leo. So if you're born around the 20th or 21st, this is, my God, this is a life-changing event for you probably. Or if you have your rising sign or your moon sign in Leo in the late degrees, this is huge for you. And if you have your other planets. So it doesn't necessarily mean that it's catastrophic and bad and awful, but those changes can occur too. So the eclipse is going to be visible in 11 states. The eclipse, I live in Washington State, and so many people are going down to Portland to watch it, because you can totally see it in Portland. It's totally visible there. In Washington State, we're going to see like a cloud cover. You know, we're going to feel like a, well, like what we feel like in January. You know, we're going to see like darkness. And everybody in the States will feel it in a way. It will just feel kind of like, you know, when the sun hides behind a cloud. But in 11 states, you'll be able to visually see it. Now, why do I even point this out? Why do I say this? Well, the last time we had a total solar eclipse was in February. I think it was February 21st. Well, was it February? It was 1979. So February 26, 1979. So that's the last time we had this total solar eclipse. And so it's very rare, and it's a very big deal. But the last time we had it, only the Pacific Northwest, Washington and up by Alaska, you know, only this teeny weeny portion of our country got to see it or witness it. So this basically is our eclipse. This is the United States eclipse. And so it's with trepidation, a little anxiety, and a little excitement that I am looking forward to see what happens to us here in the United States, what happens to us as we know it, collectively and individually. So it is most impactful here, and we'll have to see, and it's going to happen midday. I don't know the exact time, but you'll see the dimming of the sun's light at midday, probably wherever you are. But if you live in Portland, I'm so jealous. So this is a dramatic event that can really shake us to the core. And because the closest aspect astrologically to this eclipse has to do with Uranus, it can be unpredictable. So the thing you think that's going to happen isn't going to happen. So it's whatever you're expecting to happen probably isn't going to be the thing, because that's how Uranus is. It likes to really shake things up. So things are going to change for sure, because Mars, the planet of action and life force energy, is also at the central role of this solar eclipse. And again, the United States is in the spotlight of this eclipse. So watch for massive changes to occur in the US, and watch what goes on in the public eye and in your personal lives. It's like a fault line. What wants to collapse in order for something else to be born? So there's a collapse, and then there's a revelation, if you will, an awakening. And the awakening usually produces better, greater results. And so I remember in 1979, for me, I was emerging from a girl into a woman, literally. And so it was my true rite of passage into womanhood, if you will. And my life was forever changed, and it was a great awakening for me. And I really left my childhood behind at that time in my life. My parents got divorced, and it was the saddest, most catastrophic time in my life, a time for great healing. And yet, with my mom's new marriage, it birthed a whole new reality, a whole new identity, and a whole new life. And my father moved to Southeast Asia, and so now I split my life between Asia and Phoenix, Arizona. Can you even imagine? So that was my last eclipse. So it's usually something pretty huge. Now, would I have known all that on February 26th? No, but it unfolded, right? It unfolded over the course of months and years. So they say, a lot of astrologers say that normal eclipses have a time span or affect you for 6 months after. Now, because this is a total eclipse of the sun, the effects of this eclipse are going to last a lot longer, up to 3 years. So this is a great awakening that's going to shift your life over the course of 3 full solid years. So what they say is, let's see, it says, this is the notes that I took, in ancient astrology, every minute of darkness corresponds to 1 year of influence. And because this eclipse will last for 3 solid minutes, its influence will last for almost 3 years. And I kind of believe it. And I even feel like the last eclipse in '79, for me, it took probably a total of 3 years for that whole thing to unfold. So if you have the sun or the moon or north node or an ascendant, anything at 28 degrees Leo or Aquarius, because that's opposite to the eclipse, you can expect to undergo a complete change. I mean, your soul's code, your soul's clock wants to kind of have a great awakening and present you with a new reality, a new idea, a new perception, a new life, if you will, in some ways, a rebirth. And so we got to look at your natal chart, and we got to look and see where 28 degrees lives. And wherever 28 degrees Leo is in your chart, so I personally don't have anything at 28 degrees Leo, but that is my first house. And so but there are no planets there. This is just an example. So the first house is my body, myself. And I am having kind of an eclipse transit with myself, if you will. And so the first house is really important for me to understand. So I can have some sort of idea. This is going to be a very prominent eclipse in my life because the first house is yourself. And, you know, it isn't other people in your life. It is truly your body. So it will be interesting. You can get little clues about the solar eclipse. Now, it will be surprising because it's Uranus, of course, right? So let's just finish up here. On the 22nd, it's happy birthday to Virgos. I don't know if you have a good Virgo in your life, but I really hope you do because they make life so great. Virgos, at least for me, they really help me with the nuts and bolts, and they are so, so wonderful. So let's see. Mars is going to be in Leo in perfect trine to Sag on the 22nd. Saturn in Sagittarius, of course. So this Virgo energy with Mars and Saturn stabilizing it, it's going to be bringing us sort of a practical and pragmatic and a common sense energy. After this giant eclipse, we kind of get to coast for a couple of days, and we get to tap into our endurance. And if you do tap into it, you do put your, you know, workout regimen in, or your new diet, or whatever it is going to be, there's going to be really long-lasting results in your investment. So this after eclipse transit is very practical and traditional, and it's sort of going to be expressed in a way that's the total exact opposite of the solar eclipse. Now, you know, the eclipse might spare you, if you will. Let's say it doesn't affect you, but it could affect your mom, and so therefore it affects you. So you'll have to see how it plays out, and I want to hear about your eclipse stories. I really do, so let me know what they are. What I was going to say about the pragmatic and the practical days, you know, the 22nd, it's a very, after a really intense week, it's sort of like, it's not fairy tale energy, it's kind of calming energy. It's sort of like a good solid meal on the table that you've cooked. So whatever you put your effort into and your work into, you will receive a stable reward. And on the 24th, Venus is square Uranus. So there's going to be one more emotional change. And it's going to be an unusual encounter or a surprising experience. And Uranus wants you to sort of embrace those surprises fully and be authentic and be real and be open-minded. Uranus is always asking us to open up our minds. But remember, Mercury's still in retrograde. And on the 25th of August, oh, this is my favorite day. I was joking earlier when I was like, yeah, it's probably in November. But Saturn, well, it's probably in November when Saturn gets out of Sagittarius. But the good news is Saturn is going to go direct because it's been retrograding and in Sagittarius. So not only is it annoying in Sagittarius, it's annoying because it's retrograde in Sagittarius. So it's going to go direct. And Venus is going to be in Leo, and that's in perfect trine with that Saturn. So this is a time for material wealth. This is a time to really build something concrete. And Venus speaks about the things we love, and Saturn speaks about the practical things that we need. So loving somebody that you need versus loving somebody that you want. I don't know if you heard that, but I hope you did. If Venus is the beautiful chandelier in your bedroom, then Saturn is all the screws in the wiring that make the chandelier possible. And together they create this beautiful, pragmatic light. So Venus is the outer beauty and Saturn is the inner workings. And without the inner workings, the external beauty has no function. So it's just an object. So Venus in an odd way likes Saturn because Saturn can make a commitment to Venus to make it work, not just look good. So that's a commitment day for you. Anyways, and also I should say both Leo, Leo and Sag want to light up the world. So this is a day to do just that, light up the world both beautifully and pragmatically. That's the 24th. So on the 26th, am I ending here? No, it just goes on forever, I'm sorry. But I got to give you the information, so we're going to keep going. I knew it was going to be a little bit long today, I'm sorry. But the Sun and Mercury are conjunct. So we have a new Mercury cycle. Just like when it's a new moon, when the moon and the sun are together, when Mercury and the sun are together, it's going to last for 3 to 4 months, and it's a new Mercury cycle. So this is a good time. I know it's in Mercury in retrograde, but just take care of the details. Bring your energy down, do all the stuff that you're going to do to rebut the Mercury in retrograde. But it's like a new moon aspect, but it's about ideas. And so this is a time when you're going to be encouraged to develop a new skill, learn something new, gain new knowledge, read a new book. This is going to be like when I read the China study and my whole mind was blown to bits, and it made me adopt an incredible new lifestyle. So this is like a new piece of information is going to come to you and literally change your life. So, or a new skill, a new communication of sorts. Somehow you're going to read something, talk to somebody, learn something new at that time. But it's also a time when you should possibly take up learning something new, like that has to do with introspection. So another example could be, if you've never taken yoga, take your first yoga class, take your first Tai Chi class, take a martial arts class, take Qigong, learn how to make a drum, learn how to drum, read a new book, research a new concept, journal. That's a really good time to do that. So on August 27th, Mars is conjunct that North Node in Leo. Remember we talked about the destiny line? That North Node, well, what happens, the Sun was there. Well, on the 27th, Mars is there. And this is a day to take action and look out into the world. It's a destiny day again. And it's a time when you can really receive support from the universe. And it's a time to implement that higher calling. It's a time to not just think about it, not just have it inside of your body, but literally to act upon what you believe act upon who you want to be in the world, like really go out there and do it. You might also see that in our collective world, with Mars on the North Node, there might be a little bit of an angry aspect around who do we want to be. There might be a little bit of a disagreement. There might be a little bit of a fight. And then on the 31st, Mercury in retrograde moves all the way back to Leo. So it gives you a chance to redo, rework, revisit. Don't be surprised if your old loves, if old friends re-enter your life now. And